Hello, this is Blade Man Unit Pi, and last month I finished a sketchbook. So it means I need to make a video going through what I was doing in the sketchbook. That may be a problem for another sketchbook because I was doing some art studies from the Muka artist, and some of his stuff was nude. So that's going to be interesting when I finish that sketchbook. I'll have to probably blur it out or something. Alright, first one is a oldie goodie character, Neopet. Neopet was great side. It's still around, it's just old as can be. And that's it. I mean, this is my Neopet Ice Buster Pie. Nice character. It was fun. I enjoy the playing on it. Nothing runs very well because, it's all still Flash. The site's going to be in a lot of trouble come next year. Alright, now we got you're going to see a lot of these with me. Unfinished sketch. I just started it and never did anything with it. Mainly because I was like, I'm not feeling it. I'm just going to move on. Rather than doing something like ripping it out, I leave it in there. And I think in some cases when I'm showing my sketchbook to other people, if they're being like, oh my god, I'm terrible, at least it shows, hey, things don't always work out when I draw it. Actually, they probably rarely ever really work out, but that's a different story. And here's good old Shadow Wind, or Rick Williams in this picture. I was messing with the how to show the wind power effect. It's not easy. Alright, now here, on the first attempt at recording, I didn't realize what this was, but this was essentially my concepts for a cover for Shadow Wind. The cover that might show up on the outside of a comic, one of the anthologies that I'm looking at putting Shadow Wind in, but I haven't really done anything with it. I am working on the comic. The comic is getting there, but it's nowhere near done. I was just trying to get cheesecakey because the people who would pick up the anthology, they would like cheesecake. It's so creamy and good. Oh, this sounds so much worse. Alright, and here's showing Shadow Wind and his alter ego, Rick Williams and Shadow Wind, the alter ego. And Rick gets along, one of the things I've done with Rick, and I'm keeping this because I think it's a neat way, is he gets around, for the most part, when he's in, other places it's an extreme kite setup he has, but he has a unique one that shoots off it's a little thing he wears on his arm, and it shoots off like a net. It shoots off the kite. And the problem that it has is that it's hard to control, it's hard to get it to open up properly and stuff for someone who doesn't have wind powers. I think you understand why he uses it. He's the only one that really can. And he actually gets around on there. And it's something kind of plausible, but they're like, how are you actually doing this? And he's like, I just go where the wind takes me. Which is technically true. It's going to be a goof. This is also before I decided to give him a job, and instead he was mostly a bum. I mean, he'd still be kind of a bum. And here's some more working out on his, on some of the, trying to get the character down and stuff. I've changed how he's going to look. He has more of a distinctive face. He's kind of like a long, sharp chin kind of thing, and kind of a distinctive nose, which kind of makes him a little bit more fun to look at. My friend Joseph, he uploads some. I show up in a lot of his videos actually. He kind of did some character designing on him, and it's like, oh, I love it. I'm keeping it. All right, now we're going into Inktober. This I think was supposed to be Poisonous or something, but this was Inktober last year. That's actually pretty sad when you think about it. And it's like a fairy, poisonous, naked fairy, all good times. And now we have Pixie Wind, who is actually, she's part of the Shadow Wind story, but she's like a future elemental. And I'm going to try to tie her into things because I don't want her to end up like Boruto, where, Boruto, we have no idea when he was made, but everyone's like, oh, he's just a knockoff Naruto. Where she won't be a knockoff Shadow Wind. And that's kind of what I want to do, is I want to prevent her, I want to introduce her pretty quickly if I get things going, so people can actually enjoy it. They won't like look down on her if I use her later on. And toasting marshmallows with a Karen. Or a Kirin. Kirin, I think is how you're supposed to say it. Or Narek, actually, because this is the angry version. And it's the My Little Pony variant. I just love how they're the flames on there. I thought they were such a cool design of character, and I'm a bit disappointed they don't use it more in the show, but I was very happy at the future part of in the future they showed the Kirin were in the city with everything else, and I'm like, this is nice. I like this. This is a variety of creatures. It looks like fun. I kind of want to have a story with that. But, who knows what we're going to get later in the future. I mean, I started watching the show and I enjoy it. It's fun, it's harmless. And I reject being called any of those labels that anyone might have. Alright. This one is actually a Imaginator. This is my, she's a skunk mage, basically. And that's about it. She's just basically, she's a magic type. I was having fun with the character design. And I named her Maggie, and I don't know if I need to change it or not, because of, I had a really close friend that I lost. But I named her before that, and it wasn't even in relation to her. So I don't even know I don't know what the deal when you do that. So I'm kind of, I don't know. But right now, she's just what she is. And again, I'm not doing really anything with her, so I don't know if it matters. Alright, now here's where I have Rick and Pixie Wind. It's actually, she changes her name to Pixie Wind. She has a birth name, but she changes it because family issues. And this is maybe something where it's, he's there, she's out of place, or he's out of place in time. And that's how this would be happening. Time travel just to mess around with everyone. And, it would be kind of funny. It'd be kind of a funny thing. She's pretty chill and relaxed on a lot of things, so, I guess the one thing is, I'm thinking of her what a truly strong woman would be like. Strong in a way that's not toxic. And again, I think that's not something we see a lot, except maybe in shows like My Little Pony. Because there's a lot of times people do write female characters nowadays in a very toxic manner, and it's not fun. It's just basically downing on a group. It's kind of like, it's the same concept that was back in the old days where they had the bad guys were always black or something, It's always that thing where it's like it's just as bad. Just not today's sentiments, but give it a few years and it'll be just as despised as racism is today. I don't remember who it was. My DeviantArt I posted, I know I have it there. So, that's good. That's something that I'll have to keep in mind. I'll have to remember. Yes. American Chavez. Or apparently the nickname Miss, or her hero name Miss America. Like the pageant that Donald Trump started. I don't think they thought this through. Anyway, Honestly, this character is probably fine if they could just get someone to write her not terribly. Like, really, they need to do something about this character. It's just, she's poorly written, and she's basically what I was talking about. You know, she's written toxically. You see her, like, you know, she's like, oh, I'm strong and I beat up people, and she has this arrogance to her, but it's not something that is perceived by the story as being arrogant. So it's like you're supposed to like her because she is strong and powerful, and it's like, no, we don't like Tony Stark because he's arrogant. We like him because he's arrogant and everyone rolls their eyes at him. It's one of those things, is that you can't make an arrogant character be liked unironically. They have to be liked ironically. They have to be like, people roll their eyes at them and just think they're crazy. They don't do that to this character, so she just comes off as unlikable and like a Mary Sue or something like that. It's sad because all it would take is some good writers and whatever rules they have with this character to be tossed out. Honestly, Marvel probably should just throw away all their continuity again. I mean, they do that every few years, but they need to wait till after they get rid of a few key people, and then they go out there and say, hey, stop trying to tell people they're bad because of this, this, and this. Just tell a story, and if you want to show that something's bad, you show it by giving a point of view and showing why someone would be afraid of, why someone's concerned about it. Give them a voice and a point of view and explain what's the problem. Not Orange Man bad. I mean, I don't like Trump, but still, this character could be good, but honestly, she's been mishandled, and I think that's just something that needs to be understood, that Marvel can make a mistake, and they are paying for it. And the biggest thing is, my criticism of the stories right now are the character is arrogant and not perceived as arrogant by other characters. See, you can't have an arrogant character that isn't perceived as arrogant. And trust me, she's arrogant. I've read like a synopsis of someone who likes the character kind of thing, or at least was being fair from what I can tell. And she's like wishy-washy and stuff throughout her entire career. And again, that's just because no one probably knows how to use her. She could be a good character, but they need to change how they're writing and what they're trying to do. And that's almost all I have to say. And now for the Nathaniel, I still can't say it. The not Homo sapien humanoid from Earth looking version of Jagmon. I just can't say that word for some reason right now. Alright. And I ironically, I got pretty far before I started drawing Jagmon here. Oh, and everyone's favorite Edge Pony. I'm kind of sad they didn't use her in the show. And it's mainly because they got a great voice actor to voice her. And the problem is, they can't afford her for the show. So she was stuck to cameos and like being in the background. Which stings. She was a neat character. And I would love to have seen her get a more exploration into her character. And also, whether or not she has a cutie mark. I don't know. It might have been answered in that lore thing where she showed up, but I don't know. She might have still had her armor on too. I have to re-look at that episode. Alright. Here is my friend's Rings of Saturn band logo. They are no longer Rings of Saturn. And it's a Z and it's a Saturn, you know. And they're a band. Yeah, it's probably juvenile when you really think about it. It's probably pretty juvenile of me to do this that way. But, you know. They liked it. They used it for a while. And now they're a different band. The Hub City Trio. which I thought they had a graphic designer design that thing for them, and then they're like, Nick, can you do this? I'm like, okay, because honestly, I do graphic design for my buddy because I kind of owe him a lot because he's been my friend and been a supportive person to me for such a long time. I don't bother charging him. I'm not going to charge them unless they become super rich and I just want to cut. Alright. And here is Vicky and Jagmon. Or Simon, whenever. It's definitely Simon because that's the name. Vicky named Jagmon Simon. She actually named her Digimon. That's something you don't see much in like the series, and I think that's sad, but it was in like Zero Tamer manga that I think you only can like find like a scan translation of. Though if they ever print a real series of it, I'm picking it up. But this is her new design. She now has like her top is orange. She has this like black little sensor bar. I mean, really, just a sensor bar. And a little paw print on her, on the little tag there on her shirt, and then cargo pants. Women don't have enough pockets. I give them cargo pants when I can. If you actually go back and look, when I drew American Chavez, I gave her cargo pants because women need pockets. Just women need pockets. And this was based on a figure that I got, and I just love the pose. I don't even know who it is. I think it's from like one of those "you are now living in a video game" animes. But still, it's mostly the pose. It's a beautiful sculpture, and I just liked it, so I picked it up. And that's what this is of. Yes. Now this is where I accidentally hit the stop button. And I'm like, nope, I'm not going to do a jump cut. I'm too lazy. I'll just redo everything. Wait, is that really lazy? If I redo it? Well, anyway. It's Squirrel Girl, a.k.a. Doreen Green. Or the other way around. Whatever. I like Squirrel Girl. Though I think her character was a whole lot better in the past. And the comic, I think, has reached its final one, and I just need to buy the last issue, and I have every issue. Like every single issue of Squirrel Girl ever produced, I am one short on, and that's the last one. That's an accomplishment, kind of. I mean, I was excited about it. I enjoyed it, but I almost didn't get it because, well, the art. This is like it's a weird thing. The art is pretty. The art is. It kind of does the job. Kinda. I mean, it's just kind of like. Yeah, it's not great. I don't know what the deal is with this person. Like, the artist, I should probably actually say her name. Maybe. I think it's something Henderson, I think. I mean, they're not someone I really want to, I really want to be like, oh my god, you're so great. Okay. Erica Henderson. Erica Henderson is not that good of an artist. I'm sorry to say that. She's not. And I feel like her run on Squirrel Girl is why one of the reasons why people didn't give it a chance. It's not pretty to look at. I mean, really, it's flat colors. And this is like glossy paper. I mean, really, this is like super nice glossy paper. And it's flat colors. It's flat colors. The shapes are all kind of wonky. I mean, the character's supposed to be somewhat attractive, and they aren't. it's just kind of icky. The story is okay. The writing is pretty good, but Erica Henderson, or wait, her end, I don't know. I just don't know her very well. Erica Henderson, yeah. Erica Henderson is just not that good at doing anything as an artist. Now, I'm not saying she can't be. I'm saying she's not Marvel. She shouldn't have been at Marvel. She's basically, I'm not saying she couldn't. I'm just saying that she got there too soon, and it hurt a book. Marvel has lost money trying to produce this book. And the thing is, I have another example, and I just happen to have these by. I actually did, but now I had them closer. This is like where they show some of the stories that Squirrel Girl showed up in. And the art in these are so much better. Let's see if I can find a nice Squirrel Girl picture. This one had it where she had a weird costume. But again, I'll take it over like the look of that one. I still think has better. She has better structure and stuff than Erica Henderson, and like I don't know who the artist was on this one. It was like Kieran Dyer or something like that. I think might have been the one that handled a lot of these. And then there's like this one, which is a little goofy and stuff, but still she's lovable, and it's entertaining to look at. And it's just sad. It's sad to see such a good story. I mean, if you compare the art between those two, the Squirrel Girl comic, because that one is mainly Erica Henderson's run on the comic. That's what it is. And she also did the cover. So when they changed artists, and I was like, yes! Goodbye! And then she's still doing the covers. I'm like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. I mean, seriously, she crippled the character for people to enjoy. If anyone looked at the comic, because the comic wasn't pleasant to look at. Now, I would comment on Marvel Rising and try to give a thing, but I've been unable to watch it. Not because it wasn't available, but because the theme song causes me pain. And I don't mean this like it's so bad. I mean, I guess it's good. I don't pay attention to it because I'm in shearing pain because high pitches hurt me. Which I find, the more I find out, is becoming more and more commonly known as a problem. So, it's like they made the entire opening to keep everyone on the autism spectrum who has sensitivity away. Just thought I'd point that out. It's kind of that anti-inclusion kind of thing. Alright, now back to some shows that are made for girls that actually are enjoyable to watch for everyone. Miraculous Ladybug, Chloe Bourgeois as Queen Bee. Okay, it's funny. They made Chloe I love the character of Chloe right now. She is a interesting thing. She was always very selfish in everything, and everyone knew she was selfish. She's always thought she was the best, and they knew she was full of BS. All these little things. She was a egotistical, shallow character. And then she also idolized Ladybug. And then she gets her nice little Bee Miraculous, temporarily, by accident. And you see a character growth in her, which I can only describe as she became a hero, so she lived up to it. And that's something I have not seen in a character, really. You know, she took it seriously, she lived up to it, and it was just something she did. It was something that she just took on. And it was awesome. I I'm happy that they worked with her on this one. I'm happy that he created her. And again, she was an unbearable character that most people disliked. But her personality is almost exactly the same as America Chavez in a lot of ways. Except she's likable because we know she's meant to be a pain in the butt. America Chavez is not. I'm just saying, I'm giving a comparison on what's going on. You can make an unlikable character, but you gotta make sure that reader understands they're supposed to be unlikable. So then they know not to expect them to do good, and to expect them to get their comeuppance. Because when they're unlikable and they get their comeuppance, it's hilarious and it's funny. With her, she's unlikable and gets her comeuppance, but then she rises to become a better person because she has the power to do it. After she failed doing that earlier, but still, she actually became a better person. It's amazing. I loved it. And Shadow Wind being like, I don't know, I think it's like looks like he's being the buddy Jesus here. I was trying to mess with the whole like high collar thing to kind of be a, so I'm going to try to like exaggerate his collar and stuff to kind of help him emote what he's doing and stuff. Ah, yes. Ramenstein Himalaya. Another Imaginator. He went overboard with the name. She basically just she's a Earth Smasher. And she's a goat girl. This basically came from the fact that my friend Sid kept calling Splat a gnarly old goat girl. And I was like, she's a deer, not a goat. So this one's made to be the goat. Funny how that all works. And alright, this one is a Capricorn. Kind of like a creature Capricorn. So I was kind of giving the idea of like a little bit of My Little Pony spin, but I think I'm going to use these kind of characters for another story that I'm kind of working on. I don't have any names for it. I'm building it up. I have kind of like a short story arc and stuff. And it's essentially they're from a magical world that's a little less over the top magical, like, you know, someone raising the sun and moon, but more like general fantasy realm, with no humanoids, or very few humanoids. And so this would actually be a race or something, like a Capricorns or something, you know, something where they can exist just to have fun. So it's a goatfish. Gobumon. Just Gobumon. I think I pulled like a toy of Gobumon from like a blind pack. So I drew Gobumon. Rouge the Bat, because we all want to draw bats with boobs. What else? I mean, seriously, the character is a neat character, and I think it's going to be interesting when they if they ever show her in the movie, like what they're doing with the new Sonic movie, which actually looks like it might be really good. At least it'll look like the characters, unlike some other video game themed movies. Mario! Excuse me, sorry. And of course, Shantae, because Shantae's awesome. Which, you know, I love Shantae, especially when you realize the history behind her is kind of like, you know, she actually may have existed a few months earlier, or maybe even a year earlier. I don't know how long it was taken. If, you know, game developers or game publishers were more okay with a lead female character not being super buff or something, or they wanted it to be a guy, and it was like, no, she's a belly dancing half genie girl. And it's like, I love that it was there, and the fans that back her up are great, partly because like the creators are great. And I'm just gushing over them, but really they're great people. You can see how they treat the fan base, and the fan base responds. I just think this character's great, and a good example of how you can do a empowered female character and not make it garbage. I mean, seriously. They need it like she's just an empowered character. She's she goes out, saves the world. That's all it is. And I love it. And it's great. And now I don't remember if I'll have to check the date. This is on the 21st of October last year. This is the lemur girl from the new Sonic comic. I was trying to draw it because I think everyone was drawing it, so I thought I'll give it a shot. And I basically, in normal fashion, I do it after the craze, so it gets no traction online. And of course, I have to throw a little love to AK Girl, because where would I be without Renard City? Well, I have a few less comic books under my belt. Yeah, it's just AK Girl, and I think this is another pretty good example of an empowered female character who isn't garbage. I mean, at all. There's no, like, animosity towards any gender or person. She's also one of the more powerful characters in the world. Has an over-the-top weakness that seems to come out of nowhere. So, it's a caramel thing. But still, she's... Actually, to say it comes out of nowhere, you have any conversation with a woman, and you bring up food, and you bring up caramel, you're probably going to hear them, oh, I can't even touch caramel without blowing up into a blimp. And a weakness is born. Yeah, it's no other reason. It's just because the creator talks to women. I know, shocking. Ah, yes. Dr. Wolf. I don't know if I can pull off a Dr. Wolf voice, but Dr. Wolf is Dr. Wolf. If you follow My Little Pony, he's this really calm, talkative person, has a very soothing voice. So I would say if you want to meet some of the nicer people in the community, he's probably the best one, because he also is kind of he's an intellectual. And he's nice. He's not like looking down on anyone. He just kind of analyzes things. So I like his videos. He's cool. And this one is Chelsea Cat. She's just someone who's been online a lot. She's been online a while. She has a lot of friends, and this is her super kitty form, I guess. I don't know what to call it. Basically, the obligatory super form for characters. So I drew it. And Jagmon and Vicky again. So again, just messing around with the new design. Yes. I ended up making a Capricorn. I think it was like Capricorni or something is her name, or something like that. And this is an Imaginator. I was having way too much fun with this. But, that's all she is. She's got a little fishtail. Kind of a swashbuckling type character. Yeah, it was fun. Oh, yes. This is... I think this was my friend Joseph. He sketched in my sketchbook, or someone did. And I think it was him or Brandon. That happens every once in a while. Alright, now... Oh, we're still in last year's October. And I was putting October things in here as well. For this year. So this is Naya I, which is a friend of mine's character that I did all the character designing for. I did a slight modify. Instead of being a skirt, she has like little, short things like they wear in Japan for like gym. And I don't know, I'm wondering, the more you think about it, the more scared of Japan you become, so I don't want to think about it. And there's little pumpkin, like, being creepy. I was having too much fun with that. A rose by any other name, would it smell as sweet? Well, your concept of how it smells might change by your preconception by its name. Also, I don't know if I like the smell of roses. Alright. I guess it was applicable. I was going to have to show this guy in a video eventually. This is Helm and Horn. They're actually two characters. Now, this character was born from... I was watching My Little Pony. And I was telling you, like, I'm really enjoying this show. And someone's like, well, don't make a unicorn character. Because everyone makes unicorns. I really wasn't thinking of making a unicorn character. And then another one, don't make alicorns because that's just being lazy. You're just being OP, or it's a... Yeah, I was like, okay, I really wasn't planning. And this kept happening. And I was like, what is going on here? Like, okay. And then it hit me. I had a character idea. And it all came from the fact that they kept bugging me. And so this one's kind of a making fun of the idea of, you don't want to have a unicorn, but he wants to be a unicorn. So the idea of Helm here is he's a pony that grew up being obsessed with magic. So much he studied it, he understands it in many different forms. He just can't cast it because he's an earth pony. Then he gets tricked, and that was making a comic, I haven't finished it. He gets tricked by a changeling named Horn, who has magical abilities that she can cast spells. So she shapeshifts into this helmet, and her shapeshifting power is actually less than a normal changeling, so she can only hold a perfect transformation for a little bit of time, and then eventually it drains of color. And like she can keep like the basic shape of it, but eventually it becomes more and more other creature. More and more like he has something gnawing on his head. Which is the whole thing. And he's kind of got this like whole like wavy hair, so he kind of has a Fabio look to him too. And so like basically the whole idea is he's a magic obsessed pony, earth pony, who found what he thinks is a magic helmet that gives him the power to cast magic, but it's really a changeling just casting magic for him to feed off of his love of magic. I mean, it works in the world. It's a cute idea, and basically their relationship is rather strong, even though he doesn't know that she's actually a different creature. Which makes these awkward moments when he finds out he's going to be really awkward when he realized he was being very lovey-dovey to the helmet. Yeah, just a silly idea. Came up with a whole character, and it all came because people kept saying, "Don't make a unicorn, don't make an alicorn, da 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 da." So I came up with this. It was solely because people kept telling me not to, trying to limit my ideas. So I thought I'd mess around with the idea to kind of do it and not do it, make it entirely something different. It was silly. I have fun with it. That's all that matters. And here's Naya Ai again. She's basically she's based on like the Lovecraftian gods. So that's what she's based on. She's terrifying, but also adorable here. Alright, this one was the Halloween of last year. Now, the funny thing about this one is it's actually a homage to a piece of hate art against me. Yeah, I know, it's weird. So, quite a few years ago, I still go by the same name, I was part of a spriting community. And with that, I I made a mistake when I was going, because we had this kind of like rule of, if CampCon makes it, it's fair game, because we just assume it is, assume that it's made by CampCon, so no one makes a big deal about it. Well, I went in there and I accidentally found I found this one picture. I thought, oh, that's totally a CampCon thing. It's of X, this and that. So I go and I decide to do the whole, edit to make it look like my character, because that's what you did. Of course, when you did it in sprites, you could make them look better, easier, because there was limited information. You could control it better. I did that. Well, one day, some people caught on to it, that it was actually this other dude's work. And they pointed it out. So, what I did is immediately remove the picture, send a message to the guy, sorry dude, I didn't realize that was your work. I thought it was from some Mega Man X game I didn't know about. Totally sorry about that. Took it down. Now that guy, cool. He's like, that's cool, I understand, man. No biggie. That was the end of that. From him. And this is where I don't like the attack community that you have sometimes, because then I had someone who got really mad and they started coming after me, and they edited one of my sprites I had edited from a Mega Man X sprite, and they made him into a pirate, and they were saying I stole sprites and just harassed me. So this is kind of that, ironically. Now, one of the things that did teach me is I'm like, okay, I gotta be more careful. But then also I was like, okay, be careful what I was taking from. And then at one point I was like, why am I still taking from it? Because I was making a sprite sheet for this guy, his previous version that was still Mega Man X based. And when I was messing with that version, I realized I basically only had like the earpiece here, and that was the only part that was still Mega Man X. Everything else I had reworked in some way, and I'm like, why am I still using base sprites when they're not even doing all I need them to do, and they're not really mine? So that's about when I quit using base sprites on stuff. But again, I may have been pushed on there. The guy was like Asteroid something. I don't know where he is, what happened. I heard he might have been sick with cancer a few years ago, so I don't even know if he's still alive. He stopped talking to me, and he hated my guts. So yay, I guess. I mean, whatever. I don't have to deal with him. So whatever. Right here, I was dusting off an old character. His name was Jag. I know, original, right? And he was actually a Sonic fan character who I gave pants to, because that was the one thing that bugged me about Sonic characters. They didn't wear pants, and it was weird. That was it. That was just something I always thought was weird. And here's like I worked him out a little bit more. He's got like a Freedom Fighter patch on his jacket. He looks like Jagmon, except, standing up and stuff. So, again, it wasn't really that original. He's got like his little short sword, ninja sword, so he's kind of a pseudo ninja, I guess. I mean, whatever. It is what it is. He's got like the Sonic S shoes and whatnot. Oh yeah. Pixie went. I was thinking this was Abigail because I thought there was fangs, but no, this is Pixie. Just, trying to draw the characters also more to try to work out how I want them to look and stuff. Again, another obligatory not finished drawing. And a little bit more trying to work out faces, I think. I may have been trying to look at people. So, yeah. I was working on a study, so I was looking at another piece of artwork. I forgot what it was, but it's probably in my Pinterest or something. And here I was working on Ramstein, Himalayas, something like. I know I'm mispronouncing it. And I made the dang name too, so it's like I don't have an excuse. But it's such an over the top name. I was laughing at it too hard. And this is actually working on the final page of the Shadow Wind comic that I'm going to be submitting to either. I'm trying to remember if it's either going to be Mangazine, if that ever gets going, or it's going to be like Exciting Comics. So this is like talking about like the final page, and so it's like I came up with this fake brand called Woke Energy Drink. And my friend suggested it be, I was going to call it Woke Soda, but my friend like, no, energy drink. It makes more sense. I'm like, yeah. And yes, it's a play on, woke being something not so good. In my experience, I find it when someone says they're woke, that means they appear to care, but in reality, they just care about what people think of them. But they don't actually, they just do the minimal they can, and which is oftentimes just saying I'm woke. And that's all it is. And here is Jade Davis. Jade Davis is a interesting character. The idea behind her is she's a rich adventurer. Think like Laura Croft, except younger, and has done a lot of more adventuring with her family. She's kind of like she's an adventurer. She's got like her hair is in her hair. This bow is actually a rope, and she carries around a grappling hook, and she has cargo pants. Women need cargo pants, but cargo shorts. I mean, women need to have pockets. It's just something I feel is important. Women need pockets. And I was actually trying to. This is this year's Inktober, and I was trying to draw from a picture I have on Pinterest, and it just wasn't working, so I had to redo it, and then I did it. So this is like this awkward photo bomb where this black girl is like taking a selfie, and this like old guy is noticeably staring at her chest, and it's just funny. It's funny. It's it just seems like, okay, fine. I know some people might think, oh my God, he's harassing her. It's like, no, he's looking. Looking is not harassing. It's funny. It's the guy's kind of. It's obviously the guy's just the old guy who's just like, oh, hello. Now, unless he does something to her, I wouldn't say there's anything wrong with him. But it must be really embarrassing for him. Alright, this is Princess Golden Lily, or Gold Lily. Now, this is actually technically fan art, because she actually is a Hasbro character, but she's not from the show. There is a toy of her. I'm going to bring it on there. And it's just weird. It's like their own idea. Like, it's just basically, let's pad out the toy line and stuff. And it's kind of lazy, but I think the character looks neat, and it's neat. I liked it. So, alright. This really didn't count for Inktober. This was me practicing something that my friend had sent me as a practice to do caricatures. Or as he likes to call it, cutitures. Because you draw women cute. And that's how and then that's like a sellable thing. Like, this is like $20. Sorry, I haven't moved the mouse around much. And oh dear freaking Lord. Sorry, it's just 50 minutes. I didn't realize it was that rambling that bad. So I'm just like, trying to get the whole look down and stuff. And here's Abigail the vampire. She's tied to Shadow Wind. She's actually the one who's trained him how to actually fight. So she's actually a tough cookie and going to be a fun character to mess around with. She's also very flirtatious. Now, Emily Bandicoot is someone I talked to online. I actually don't really know what her real name is. That's how online is, but so I decided to draw her character. I asked permission, of course, because it's nice to do that when you can. Sometimes I'll just draw someone else's character and say, "Here you go, I drew your character," just because I can. But I don't like to do that too much now because some people get really crazy about it. And of course I try to like give credit where credit's due. Anyway, this is her character. I drew it. It was fun. I forgot if it was just Emily Bandicoot character or the evil version. I think it was the normal one. Alright, here's that thing I was talking about with all the different creatures. This is one of the Sphinxes. I'm working on trying to come up with characters, and I'm going to have like an entire there's like a city where they all live in, and there's other creatures in this city. And the Sphinxes are going to be an interesting allegory for some things happening in America, but they're going to be but honestly, I don't want to like say too much so people go, "Oh, this is what it means," because honestly, what they're going to be about is something that I think anyone should be able to, if they can find a parallel in a situation they care about or know about, that's fine and that's great. It's like the X-Men in that sense. People say, "Oh, it's about the gay people. It's an allegory of gay people." No, it's not just that. It's so vast. You could put any group that's different. I think one that fits better, and again, I'm not saying the gay people X-Men don't fit. I'm saying the one that fits better is being like on the autism spectrum. You're misunderstood, and you get ostracized way too easily. You get ostracized today. And that's something that needs to change, but no one wants to change it right now because who are they going to make fun of anymore? Alright, here's my here's Helmut Horn again with a little cityscape, little flying machines and stuff. My Little Pony type city, like a far off city from My Little Pony. I kind of did like a reference to a particular, I think it's Arabian Nights is one of the names of the movie. So I have a little reference there to that, and so I was having fun. Jagmon again, because it's Jagmon. And here I am trying to do a Sphinx design. And again, the Sphinxes have certain aspects to them that are, well, I'm going to say it, I'm going to use the concept of turning into the skid when it comes to what people, considering what happened with My Little Pony. I'm just going to turn into a skid, so at least then, whatever. And if I ever make anything out of this that goes out there, I'm just going to say, guys, if you're going to do inappropriate art of these characters, please come up with your own variation of a mostly unrelated title for the artwork and tag it that way. That way when people look for this kind of art that isn't inappropriate, they can find it. And that's all I'm ever going to probably ask for them, is just have, hey, do this please. So, you guys can have your own thing, it can be openly found out, but at least make it where someone doing a search online isn't going to get like creeped out. I'm so sorry about this picture. This is so bad. I don't know why I wasn't feeling right that day, so that's what you got. Sorry. And a jackalope. This is also part of that world where I'm talking about the Sphinxes. The jackalopes are going to be some of the other creatures that inhabit it. I'm choosing a jackalope because they're not really used. It's not going to overlap much with like My Little Pony or anything because it's going to be its own little thing. And but I'm going to have similar concepts, like their horns can do magic, while the Sphinxes, they use their eyes. That's not a Sphinx. Alright, now this one I accidentally spilled some gold paint on it. So, but this is just some girl looking over some place and needing some suspenders. I mean, really, that's all it is. Alright, this one I'm actually very proud of, but I may have to make a variant of this picture that isn't tied to Miss Marvel. But this is Miss Marvel as a belly dancer. Ooh. When I made this, I was kind of worried I was going to get a lot of backlash. But after I kept seeing some Arab people, I can't talk, post liking it and stuff like that, and I just go, I don't think I hit anything. I don't think I hit a nerve. So, I did finish it up digitally. I think it looks nice. And here's working on a Shadow Wind picture. I know by the jacket. I forgot what I was thinking, but you know, I feel like I'm hitting 2 pages here, but I'm not. So again, another unfinished drawing. Yeah, it's 1 page. Here is another jackalope, and I was thinking I would use some multi-tailed fox characters in the world too, because why not? I mean, I'm making my own rules. I'm not afraid of using carnivores as characters, you know? So that'll be fun. And here's Vicky and Simon, aka Jagmon, again. This one I think came out really nice. You know, she's like standing up, you know, it has a lot of energy to it. I like how Jagmon came out. Yeah, I liked how this one turned out. And again, I just, you know, have to draw Jagmon every once in a while. Swimsuit of, I was about to look over here and be like, oh my god, I can't believe I'm not catching it because she's up there. But no, Freedom Planet Sash Lilac. More based on her Freedom Planet 2 design. But, you know, still Sash Lilac. Redrawing a picture I have in my on my Pinterest. Because that's what I use it for, is art reference. Ah, yes. And here's Abigail in her jack-o'-lantern pumpkin top. It was kind of a play on the slutty pumpkin from 2.5 Men. So I just thought that I remember that because that was a running gag in the show. Unfinished face. Don't even remember what it was supposed to be. And Princess Gold Lily again. I don't know why I like this one. Maybe because she's yellow and I like yellow a lot. But, you know, still. Nice looking princess. Yes. And Korra the Mari from Lightseekers. Ironically, you can still play Lightseekers, but Korra the Mari is not included in any of the current cards and stuff. So it's really kind of sad. The figure is awesome. Do I have her? Nope. But, you know, that's fun. And I did Ladybug. Now, I like this costume of Ladybug. This costume has a little bit of a history to it. When I say that, it is an official costume of Ladybug. Kind of. It's not in the show, not in the comics. It's actually, what? That's that. Okay. It's actually a design that was created by the creator. I can never remember his name. I'm sure someone will be like, really like, oh my god, how can you forget? Anyway, it was a redesign, and I like it more. It looks a little bit closer like a Spider-Man costume, but I just like how it was done. It's easier to draw, easier to work with. I think it's a great one, and I hope to see this in the actual show. And I think this is a pony named Minty. And that's the last one of this page, of this sketchbook. This sketchbook basically ran me from, like, this was the 28th of this year, and it started way back on the July 21st last year. And there it is. That is my sketchbook. Thanks for watching and sticking around for this hour-long video.